Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by the 2022 Mazda Scholarship Shootout winner. Of course, that is Nate Cicero. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, pretty awesome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so of course, as I just said, he is this weekend, of course, supposed to be a few weeks ago, but obviously hurricane activity in Florida kind of postponed this, but was able to do it this past weekend. And Nate is the 2022 Scholarship Shootout winner. Of course, the Mazda Scholarship Shootout winner. Of course, he gets a substantial amount of money and towards a seat in the Mazda MX-5 Cup, which starts next month. So Nate, talk about winning the scholarship and just being a scholarship winner. How about that?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I was able to win the Spec MX-5 scholarship last year, which is, of course, the older MX-5 Cup cars. Now it's called Spec MX-5. And this year, going into it, basically the whole goal was to be in the shootout. And once I was in the shootout for MX-5 Cup this year, which I was able to get into, just try and learn how to drive the cars. We ended up going to CMP, which is a track that I know a little bit better than Sebring. So I knew we would have a little bit more of a shot there and just do the same thing I did last year and worked out.
Yeah. So let's, for, a lot of people really, well, first off, before we get into that, let's talk about what you received from winning this. You received a pretty substantial amount towards a ride. So what happens next after this?
Yeah, so we got $110,000 towards our funding to race for next year. So I believe you can either go get a car for yourself, you can kind of start your own team, but obviously you need a little bit more funding for that. You can rent a car from a team, and yeah, you can bring your own car to a team already. So yeah, we got to figure out what the plan for that is, figure out what team you're going to run with, and go from there.
All right. Well, obviously we have you up, and maybe we'll have you on again so you can talk about all that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about you for a second. A lot of people really kind of don't know a lot about you. So let's how'd you get into racing? Kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so from a really young age, 2 or 3, I always would go up to people and ask what kind of car they had and look for their car keys, and those were some of the first words I learned. So I've always been into cars. I don't know why, because we don't have really any car fans in the family. It just always was engraved in my head and started racing indoor karting, and kind of all went from there. But there was just a love for racing, love for cars. I just had to find my way into it.
Yeah. You're only 18 years old, by the way, too. So
Yep.
What's it like? And also you're a high school student. So it's that brings its own set of challenges as well.
Yeah, so I just turned 18 a week ago today. So yeah, just getting into adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah, being in school and racing, it's been really tough scheduling. So I'm in a private school. They've helped a lot with being a little bit flexible for me. Being away so often. I mean, at the beginning of this year, there was a period of 12 weeks where I had to be gone for 10 of those weeks. So they've been really helpful. And now I'm applying to colleges for next year. So hopefully I got to find a way to do college and racing, but we'll figure it out.
We'll find a way, buddy.
Yeah.
So let's kind of go into this, what kind of made you want to choose the format that you want to go in? Because, usually kids your age are usually racing in all these different types of series. And obviously you look at the Road to Indy for IndyCar, of course, obviously NASCAR with all of its stuff and, trucks, Xfinity, ARCA and all that. What made you, have you kind of really decided where you want to go with your racing career? Do you want to, the sports car route's kind of interesting. Is that what you've always been into?
Yeah, so I've worked with Stephen McAleer and his brother Stuart McAleer. They have an MX-5 Cup MX-5 Cup team. It's called MMR. I've been with them since 2016. I really got into racing with them. So they've always preached the Mazda program and their ladder program. So I've always been interested in sports cars. And yeah, I think IMSA is a really great route to go. So there's a lot of different paths you can go in sports cars. But yeah, I'm really happy joining IMSA and getting into the MX-5 Cup program.
Yeah. So let's, so you're 18 years old, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Just what's it going to be like just winning the scholarship? Did you think you could do it and all that? And yeah,
Um, this year and last year, I kind of went into it as, if you don't win it, you get 2 days of testing in a race car. So that's always gonna be valuable seat time. I didn't want to focus on being the winner each year. I think that helped me quite a bit. Not putting too much pressure on myself. But you go through the days, and especially the second day, you start thinking, maybe you have a shot. And at the end of it, it gets a little bit nerve wracking for sure, especially that last session. When they tell you exactly what you need to do. You know, they said they're telling all of us we're gonna average your lap times. We're gonna be looking for consistency straight from your out lap. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of pressure there, but once you're going through that last session and start getting into a groove, um, yeah, it comes a little bit more naturally. But when you're out off track, the nerves are there for sure.
yeah, for sure. So, season's already, the MX5 Cup season doesn't start for, I mean, it's going to be here before you know it. I mean,
Yeah.
tomorrow the calendar turns to December, and we're just only 2 months away from the season starting in January. So really, after the holidays begin, it's really go time for a lot of these, or for most everybody. What's it going to be like for you to just be in the series again?
It's gonna be pretty awesome. I mean, there's 30 people in the series normally, maybe a little bit more. So the competition is amazing. I'm just looking forward to get back in the seat. The car is really fun to drive. I think I have a little bit more time to find in myself, just with a little bit more experience in the car. So looking forward to get the maximum out of me and learn the car a little bit more.
All right. Well, let's get to know you outside of the race car. How about that?
Yeah,
So outside of the race car, what are you doing?
a lot of video games. Some shooter games for sure. A lot of sim games as well. Most of my life revolves around racing. I have my sim right back there. So I'm on that a lot. I've played guitar for most of my life as well. It was always guitar and cars growing up. Um, and I'm a big dog person. We have quite a lot of dogs. We have 7 between my mom's house and my dad's house. So
Jeez,
yeah.
it's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, Going into, you know, let's see, what's something that you what's your like go-to place for food?
Food. It's so hard to decide. I really like Chinese food. I think that would probably be my number one, but you can't go wrong with burgers, pizza, sushi, Italian food. There's a whole day's worth of conversation going into that.
You
So
can't choose just one, right?
no, no.
Okay, so let's let's see. What's something people might not know about you?
Mm, I'm not sure. I don't think there's too much else other than racing about my
Oh,
life. I mean, the guitar thing, I have a very large guitar collection.
yeah.
I have 15 guitars. And for any guitar enthusiasts, 6 Gibson Les Pauls. For anyone who might know about that, it's definitely my favorite type of guitar. Um, yeah, it's just I don't think I have too many other things interesting other than racing.
Yeah, sounds good. Um, Favorite movie, favorite TV, Netflix, any good what's the streaming show you're watching right now if you're watching one?
I'm going back and rewatching the Grand Tour. Have to rewatch everything again. I was a big fan of that when that came out, and how they were able to move so easily from being Top Gear to working with Amazon and kind of
Yeah.
putting the middle finger almost to them for firing them and going towards and making their own show
Oh yeah,
and doing it so well.
yeah, for sure. Um, any racing superstitions?
Um, I have sweatpants that I wear on Saturday and Sunday because that's normally our race days. And I started getting into having race socks as well. I for the cars I have 2 sets of socks, so I have the race day socks.
Nice. Um, All right. And then just overall, what's the best race? Why did I ask that? Outside of winning the scholarship, what was the best racing achievement that you've had?
Hmm. Um, I think I had I've had a few really good karting races that I'd go to. My first karting win in X30 Pro Senior. It was at Newcastle Motorsports Park in 2021. It's round 5 of the SCUSA Pro Tour. I won by 8.5 seconds, and that was my first win in that category. So that was cool. And then also at Rock Vegas last year, or yeah, 2021 as well. I won that with a last corner, last lap pass for the win, which was an exciting race. So yeah, I think those two for sure.
All right. Well, Nate Cicero, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Best of luck to you, and congrats on winning the scholarship.
Yeah, thank you so much.